What's good, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. And in today's one, guys, the 5 tips that we're gonna go through are kind of tips that I learned over the duration of my trading journey. Now, as you guys can see, I have been trading for about 4 years, but I will really only honestly consider my full-time trading time as how long I've been trading. But nonetheless, it doesn't really matter how long and all that nice good stuff. What really matters is the amount of attention and kind of the effectiveness of that period of time that you've been spending in the markets, because a lot of people spend years and years in the markets but actually go nowhere very slowly. But otherwise, guys, we're gonna get into these tips. Now these tips are gonna kind of be in chronological order of how I learned these tips. And I guess as traders we all fight the exact same demons, but obviously, guys, they show themselves in multiple different ways. But ultimately, when we boil things down, we're fighting the exact same demon. So I do feel like you guys will be able to learn from these different 5 lessons, because your journey will somehow mirror this journey as well. So the first lesson that I learned within this 4 years of trading, guys, awesome lesson number one: anything can work, but nothing is 100% effective. Now, obviously, like you guys as well, I went through the phase of looking for a specific indicator, looking for a specific trading process, looking for concepts that allow me to understand the market. I always felt like there was something that was just a little bit better, just a little bit more effective than the tools that I was currently using. And obviously, you guys know that that is not the truth, that there is nothing that is 100% effective. As much as, yes, we do find a concept that does allow us to help us make sense of the market itself, and then obviously help us make a decision based off what we've made sense using, guys. Yes, we can make a decision. Yes, we can find a process that does allow us to make those decisions, but there is no process that is 100% effective, meaning that any process will go through periods where that process does not function in the market space. Now, obviously, we know that for a fact, but it doesn't show within our actions, because we are still actively, or at least some of us, or at least if you're still in that phase of your journey, you will still be looking for alternative methods and alternative rules and all of this extra stuff. And if I were to give you one tip, basically still talking on this lesson that anything can work but nothing is 100% effective, if I were to give you guys one tip, the biggest tip would just be: master the basics. Find consistency in executing the basics, learning things such as market structure, learning things such as candlestick confirmation, learning things, those types of things that every other complex system is built off. Those are the fundamental things that you guys should be focusing on and obviously getting a little bit better at. Now, obviously, we're going to go through to the second point. And now the second point is basically, once I've found out that, okay, not everything can work, and now once I've chosen a couple of things that I'm willing to discipline myself to kind of going through the process, building the process, and obviously executing on that process. Once I've disciplined myself to that process, obviously we'll go on to the next tip now. But before we go on to the next tip, I will just want to tell you guys that if you guys are interested in registering in the Forex Chasers 3.0, I will be flashing a nice coupon code for you guys to get 15% off anything, guys, whether it's the signals, whether it's the course itself, whether it's the mentorship. I will be flashing a coupon code sometime during this video so that you guys can get 15% off. So do stay. The coupon code will flash just below me, so guys, keep your eyes out on that blank spot just below me. It's there for a reason. Otherwise, I will flash the coupon code. Let's go into the second one. So guys, our second point is basically revolving around, after we found a process, now we want to start to trade. This is our second point, guys. Demo trading does not accurately capture my trading skill. That is the second lesson that I learned, guys. Very tough pill to swallow, because I know a lot of us can take a 10,000 demo account to $150,000, and then obviously when it comes to a live account, whether or not the numbers are changing, whether or not the process is changing, it just seems like there's a barrier, like there's a new barrier. Let me tell you guys exactly what that barrier is, or at least what I assume that barrier is based off my own experiential knowledge. Now, simply enough, that barrier is a psychological barrier. Generally, guys, when we are taking risk, especially when the risk is realized, by what I mean by realized risk is, I mean a risk that actually has real life consequences that can affect the way that our mind processes information and the way that we make decisions. That's what I mean by a realized risk. Once we have realized risk on the table, our general thought processes and the way that we generally make decisions, guys, that changes, or at least to some degree it is affected by this realized risk. So demo trading does not accurately capture my trading skill because demo trading doesn't expose me to the exact same conditions in terms of my own emotional state that risk will expose me to. There is no realized risk in demo trading, and I guess the only part that demo trading can efficiently help you with is basically being diligent in executing a process. Demo trading definitely can help you get comfortable with viewing the charts, get comfortable with your process on how you execute and all of that things, on all of that stuff. But in terms of the actual results that a demo trading session will capture, I don't think that those results can capture an accurate trading skill because of the absence of this realized risk. So one thing that I can definitely say, guys, or a tip that I can give you guys, is definitely do start trading live whenever you can, whenever you feel comfortable. Obviously, do start small, because the point of you trading your first live account is not to make money, but to discover who you are and how do you make decisions when realized risk is present. Otherwise, guys, let's go straight into our third tip. Let's get rid of that second tip over there. Let's slap on this third tip over there. And this third tip comes into, for you guys that are now transitioning from maybe being a demo trader into starting to trade with those real live accounts. I guess this lesson is just for you. Guys, number 3, losing money is an important part of my overall development. I know losing money is painful. I know losing money is something that no one wants to go through. And I know losing money is not the point of why you started trading in the first place. That makes 100%. But let me tell you guys that losing money is inevitable. Reason being is because in this environment, you are literally trading, or the environment that you're trading in is an environment that is comprised of the smartest minds. Wherever the volume is going, the smartest minds are usually going in the direction of the overall volume. The smartest minds are the people that make money. So if you think about what your job is to find a system or to find a process, to be an engineer, to trial and error different ways of doing things, different ways of executing, different ways of managing, different ways of taking risk. Those types of things in a combination eventually produce an overall net profitable trader. But losing money is a part of you developing and going into that trial and error phase of finding out what works. And in Mark Douglas's words, guys, I did say this a couple of times in our live sessions, that if you do not know who you are, the market is a very expensive place to find out. And that's part of this losing money process. You need to see, how do you actually make decisions? Can you manage realized risk? How does your mind make decisions? Can you follow through on your plan? Are you diligent? Do you feel these emotions? How do you handle these emotions? These are the things that losing money, that actually having realized risk, because that's what it is. Realized risk is the potential for you to actually lose money. That aspect opens the doors for growth. It allows you to focus on those elements within your process that you can change, because that's kind of ultimately what we want to focus on. We want to focus on the parts of this whole overall process that we can have a little bit, or that we can have some control over, which is basically our processes and how we follow our processes and how we choose to respond to whatever the market is giving us. So otherwise, guys, number 3, losing money is a very important part of my overall journey. And if I were to give you guys a tip on this one here, I would suggest that since you know from the onset you are going to lose money, no matter how good your beginner's luck is, the longer you trade, the more you find out you are eventually going to hit a phase where you do lose money. And that part is 100% normal. Let me just give you guys one tip. Lose small, or manage your risks. Lose in a way that you'll be able to come back and trade tomorrow. Guys, let's go into our fourth one over there. And so our fourth one, we're gonna go into our fourth trading lesson, guys. And our fourth trading lesson is basically build a system that matches my personality. So after I've been taking this realized risk and I've been losing money and I've been trial and erroring, part of the reason why I've been losing money, or at least some of this reason why I've been losing money, is because there's been some sort of resistance in between the process that I currently have and the individual that I entrust to follow this process. Me as the trader and my trading system, there was some resistance in between these two things, and that was part of a cause of me losing money. So now if I then start to fit my process into my personality, like for example, not taking realized risk for too long because I realized to myself that I don't have the temperament to hold onto a position for days and weeks in a row, but nonetheless what's in my strengths is me being able to make decisions quickly. That type of a thing, guys, that type of a thing where you make your system match your personality, match those things that come natural to you, that is what then obviously helps you follow the system much better. That's what helps you execute the system much better. That's kind of what keeps you a little bit more diligent to actually following the process, is when your process doesn't conflict and force you to do things where there is a natural resistance inside of your general personality. It's just the way that you are. If you can make decisions on the fly and you're okay, then scalping is for you. But if you're that person that likes to gather information, then maybe swing trading, if you're a more passive individual, then maybe swing trading is for you. And you see that if you want to be, or if you have the temperament of a scalper and you eventually start swing trading, there's a lot of resistance in that process in general. And so generally what there will be is this battle between this individual to force this individual to mold into the system, and as well as there's just going to be a whole lot of conflict. Let's not go too deep into it because this YouTube video doesn't need to be extra long. But otherwise, guys, point being is that build a system that matches your personality, because it's going to reduce the resistance, and the less resistance there is, the more diligent you will be in following this process. Otherwise, guys, let's go into the fifth and final tip, and the tip that I believe is the most important tip for me. It's a tip that I feel like I will never ever sideline, that I will never ever forget, that will always be the paramount, the front, the beginning. My whole trading process revolves around this tip. It is the most important tip. There is no consistently profitable trader that does not follow or does not have this encompassed somewhere in their trading process. Let's get into tip number 5, or lesson number 5. Guys, focus on preserving capital. Ultimately, that's what I want to do. I'm gonna give you guys a real life example and go into Forex Chasers a little bit. So there was a period last year where we were looking for some traders to come and trade with the Forex Chasers to basically trade company capital. Now, one of the main requirement, or rather literally the only requirement that we requested from an individual that wanted to apply for this trading position, was that they are able to manage and preserve capital, regardless of whether they were able to turn a profit on that risk that they have taken. The point was to be able to manage capital. Now think about this from any angle. Whether you're a business owner, whether it's being specific to Forex and saying that you want to work for a hedge fund, or whatever it is. Guys, number one, a business always wants to ensure that they have more money coming in than the money that's going out. Indirectly, they are trying to preserve capital, increase whatever inflow of money is coming in. Nonetheless, whatever. Cool. In trading, guys, if you are not focused on risk management elements, on preserving capital, guys, the market is a very uncertain place, and no matter how the stars align, no matter how much the stars align, in Mark Douglas's words, it takes one individual to move the market or to cause the market to do something that you did not plan to see the market doing. So in other words, we're trading an environment that anything can happen at any point in time. And what serves us the best is that we look to manage our risk the best that we can. We look to manage those trades once we've taken that risk, and if the market is moving in a particular manner that allows us to better manage risk, whether that's reducing risk on a losing trade or whatever the case is, or whether that's reducing risk on a winning trade or whatever the case is, it doesn't really matter. Guys, primary focus is longevity, because we don't know when the market will enter a phase that is conducive for the way that we trade. We don't know when the market will exit a phase that we've been trading in that has been profitable for us. We have no idea. And so we need to be able to trade in a way that helps us trade profitably in the periods where the market is conducive for our process, where we are making money. And then obviously we need to be able to sustain the periods where the environment that we are currently trading is not conducive for what we are currently doing. And the only way we do that is if we realize that risk management, or the element of risk management, is the most important part of any process. I can have no system whatsoever and randomly buy and sell on any pair, but I can still try and use the element of risk management as an edge, that if I take this certain risk, look for this certain realized reward over this certain period of time, over this certain sample size, or whatever the case is, I can still see some realized net profit potential. Otherwise, guys, these are the 5 tips that I did have for you guys, kind of going into, first of all, my own experiential knowledge as a trader, my own trading journey, and then as well as being specific, because I know that as a trader you're going to go through these phases, you're gonna learn these lessons. Now I feel like it's a lot more important that you realize that you're going to learn, if you haven't been through these phases, that you realize that you're going to go through these phases, because it's going to help you mentally prepare. It's going to help you be more prepared that when that situation does arise, when you're going through a period of losing money, you will remember that, oh, the tip that was given there is that yes, I am going to go through a period that I'm going to lose money. Let me use this period to learn as much as possible, and then at the same time, the tip that was given to me was lose small. So nonetheless, guys, everything that was shared in this video was obviously for your guys' best interest as a trader. We want to see you guys progress. We want to meet at the top. We want to move together as a unit, as a team, as a family, whether or not you guys are directly linked to or part of the Chasers, or you guys are just watching us, you guys are supporting from the sidelines. Guys, it doesn't really matter. We're all traders. We all got a common goal, and we want to all move together in the same direction. So hopefully you guys have received the value that was intended for you guys. I do hope that you guys will take these tips, hope that you wrote them down, and otherwise don't forget that the coupon code did flash at some point in the video. So if you guys are interested in getting mentorship, in getting the course, or maybe just joining for the signals, guys, you can use that coupon code that was flashed in the video for 15% off. Otherwise, this is Tramayne, your FX Chasers mentor. We'll see you guys in the future videos. Thanks so much for being part of the session with us, guys. Have a great week. Cheers.